Africa is poor, Africa is poor. That is one of the biggest psyops ever pulled on humanity. Ever. Period. That sentence alone has done more damage than most weapons. It flattened an entire continent into a stereotype. 50 plus countries, thousands of cultures, hundreds of languages, entire civilizations reduced to one lazy, racist idea that gets repeated so often that people stop questioning it. And before anybody starts clutching their chest, yes, obviously there are poor regions in Africa. There is famine in some places. There is corruption in some governments. There is poverty in certain areas. No shit. Name me one country on earth that does not have those things. The US has homeless people sleeping under billion-dollar skylines. Europe has food insecurity. South America has corruption. Asia has exploitation. Poverty is not uniquely African. Exploitation is just more concentrated over there. Africa did not end up like this by accident. It did not fail itself. It was systemically drained, destabilized, carved up, and economically strangled by outside powers that knew exactly what they were doing. Resources were extracted, borders were drawn with zero regard for tribes, nations, or history. Economies were forced into dependency. Leaders who pushed for real economic independence were undermined, removed, killed, or crushed, one way or another. That right there is documented history. You cannot even call this a conspiracy theory. You don't get to steal gold, diamonds, oil, technology, cobalt, lithium, land, labor, resources, and human beings for centuries and then turn around and say, why are they struggling? That is another form of gaslighting. And you know what's crazy? The media plays right along with it. Africa only gets airtime when there's famine, war, disease, or chaos. You never see the innovation. You never see the universities. You never see the tech hubs. You never see the art, the fashion, the architecture, the community, the joy, the normal life. Because that would not support the narrative. A thriving Africa does not justify exploitation. A broken Africa does. And let's really sit with this part. Thousands of years ago, Africa was not behind. It was ahead. Advanced societies, complex governance, engineering, medicine, astronomy, technology, trade networks, kings, queens, royalty, structure, knowledge. That history did not disappear. It was buried, erased, stolen, rewritten, and mocked because acknowledging it would shatter the lie that Africa needed saving. Africa was never saved. Africa was robbed, and it keeps getting targeted for the same reason it always has. Land, resources, and freedom. Real freedom. The kind that does not bow to every Western corporate interest. The kind that scares systems built on control and extraction. When a place has abundance and autonomy, it becomes a threat to people who profit off scarcity and dependence. That's why narratives get created. That's why demonization sticks. That's why intervention always has a humanitarian label while the resources quietly change hands. And you know the wildest part? People will destroy lands, destabilize regions, fund chaos, make places so unlivable, and then turn around and complain about immigrants fleeing the very conditions that were created. That hypocrisy is loud as hell. So when somebody says Africa is poor, what they really mean is Africa was stripped.
Africa Writes with Susan West.